Welcome back to Strong's Garage.
Yeah, you got Matt, Jim here.
And today we're going to do a little hot rod.
Yeah, something quite interesting, a little more higher speed pace than normal.
High performance.
Yeah,
hyper. We got 1932 Ford in here. We've got a Flathead Ford for it that we built that's now, instead of 239 cubic inches, it's 276.
Yeah.
So that entails a 4-inch Mercury crankshaft, 1/8 overbore, got an Iski cam, adjustable lifters, Lincoln valve springs. It's relieved.
The go fast goodies, yes.
Yeah, and it's going to get Edmunds heads and an original Edmunds dual carb intake. Edmunds stuff is pretty neat. He died young. He was 53 years old when he died. But Eddie Edmunds was pretty prolific. He made heads and intakes for every American car, I believe. Packards and Buick intakes. And oddly enough, we're also looking for a dual carb Edmunds intake and a finned aluminum Edmunds intake for a 218 Dodge 6-cylinder, Flathead 6, if you run across one.
Yeah, if it comes in your travels.
Thought I'd throw that in there.
Oh, good. Yeah, you never know.
So we'd also like to take a second. We got a little bit of mail, didn't we, Jim?
Yeah, a wonderful little sort of plethora here, and attached with a nice little note here that from our friend Robert, Lethbridge. Yeah,
which is about 6.5 hours south of where we are.
Yeah, so the letter entails the stuff, so we'll show you the stuff here.
Very kind man, though.
Oh,
Thank you for sending that. Yeah.
So this is quite cool. This is Alberta, where we're from. Operator's manual. So this is your driving sort of directions here, and
it's from 1962.
62, is that what we figured?
There,
Ah, yes, the Queen's printer, 1962.
That's pretty cool.
And so it's got some pretty neat things.
There's some scare tactics in there with some pretty horrific looking wrecks.
Yes, oh yeah, some scary tactics is right.
And then my favorite thing, well, it's all wonderful, but that book here, the Jim has,
this is probably one of the best pieces of literature I think we've ever received.
How to Find a Short.
Yeah, How to Find a Short.
Other automobile wiring troubles.
Yeah.
By Jack Steele.
Jack Steele, yeah. And so kind of neat. On the front it says, this book, which is just off the press, is sent for you for review by the Norman W. Henley Publishing Co. And so this is probably some sort of a trial copy.
It's from 1946.
Yeah.
But he's written this book in such a way that it's actually a technical manual that's fun to read.
Anecdotes.
And anecdotes,
yes.
Yeah. It's basically, 20 or 30 case studies.
Yeah, yes.
Give him a little taste of how this is written, because this is a really interesting way to read a technical manual.
Yes, yes. Case 16, 1938 Rolls-Royce. And now we have the aristocrat of all cars, a Rolls-Royce. And darned if the owner, a large lady who is sitting in the back plush, doesn't glare at us through a lorgnette. Whatever that may be.
I think that's those face nets.
Ah, okay, yeah. And no wonder she's glaring. 4 different garages have had the gall to charge her for trying to fix her lights and then not doing it. When the customers bark at me when they first drive in, I wait before barking back. Many times it is, as is with this irate lady, just a case of bad electricianitis.
That's a common problem.
We nod sympathetically as she pours out her troubles about maids, bad cooks, bad electricians. Let it get out of her system. After all, she's paying for it. And then we gently prod out of her what her trouble really is. Every time the lights are turned on, show 'em, Charles. There's a frightful buzzing sound and no lights. The chauffeur does it several times just to prove her point, until the lady taps him on the back several times with her stick to make him stop. The lady has heard from a reliable source that we can stop the beastly buzzing and make her lights well again. She is an English producer's wife, and they have 5 cars, which means if we fix this one, we bring in 4 others. We can most certainly fix it, madam. We most certainly can. The lady gets into another car, which has followed her, which means another possible customer for us, because gals will talk, and soothed by our gentleness and confidence, leaves the rolls in our hands till 5.
There you go.
And we go to work.
That's it?
And then, fortunately, this awesome 29 to 32 Chevy repair manual, but just not written with the same gusto. What is the correct lubricant for the clutch pilot bearing? The special high temperature grease is the only lubricant which will give satisfactory operation.
So it's not quite as fun to read, but it's a really handy book. And then that wrench right there, Jim.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here.
Take a peek.
This is a Ford wrench. It carries a 81A part number, which is 1938. And it's a spark plug and head bolt wrench that he sent us. So that's very kind. So, Robert,
Yeah.
thank you for the kind gestures. And these will go to good home. And we're gonna be
Keep
wiring,
plugging away at the Jack
wiring
Steel
experts.
book.
Yeah. So that's that. And getting back to our task at hand, we have the suggested repair labor schedule from the Ford Motor Company. And if I go to the engine here, which is what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be doing job number 402, which is to install a reconditioned engine using Ford Motor Company cylinder exchange, including all labor and engine tune-up. Now, we can't do the engine tune-up because we still have yet to rebuild the two carbs for it, but we'll just have a quick look and see what the suggested labor rate is for 1932 Ford. Job number 402, it is 6 hours.
There we go.
The R&R engine, which, you know, if you have the engine sitting there, that's probably about right.
Yeah.
And they don't give you a hourly rate in this book, but some of them they do, and you're getting upwards of $2.10 an hour. We'll do a little hot rod in the old time way. Let's go put this flathead in this 32 Ford.
Oh yeah, we've been excited to hear it.
Oh yeah, and we'll start it for the first time. Sweet. Perfecto. Good. Okay, we got our flathead and our 32 Ford that needs the flathead.
Yeah, engine lined up to the car, so it's a mere lift.
Take it off our handy dandy KR Wilson engine stand with the flathead adapter here, which is a cool thing. This came from the old Smoky Lake garage 2 years ago. Really makes life easy. We got all the adapters to put different engines and stuff on it. The Model T and A and the transmission, and I think Fordson tractor.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the stuff that rolls through here.
So we'll get it off the engine stand and put it into the car. We're handy dandy lifting lug as well.
Yeah, see the little Wasco.
Yeah.
Let's set that there. Wheel our crane over here.
Change it back.
There we go. Perfect. Car ahead here.
Got it. Felt like it went in.
It did.
It did.
Yeah.
The crank pulley's clear now.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Holy.
There she is. Home sweet home.
There. Oh,
Nice.
wasn't too bad.
No, not at all. Let's get those 32 mounts back on, and away we go. Got the engine in the car now. And because it's a 1932 Ford that came factory equipped with the said V8, as is signified on the badge,
Right here.
we're going to use the 1932 Ford motor mounts. They came off it, and they just fit on the front of the engine, and they work quite well. Years ago, for my friend Brad, he gave me his dad's old wrench. It's an old snap-on wrench that was bent like this, and Lynn on there, and 2 sets of initials too. His dad was Lynn, but it works excellent for getting in here, especially when it's stock exhaust manifolds. You can do this center bolt like nobody's business. So I wonder if they bent it for that or not, but I use it for that.
Sure, handy.
Handy dandy. Because we're going to be running this engine in for the very first time, it's got a dual carburetor manifold, and we're just going to put the single barrel manifold on to run it in.
Our good distributor here.
Yep. It'll be a joy to put on.
Get your speed handle there, coffee handle.
Oh, the coffee handle, they do the best. I think we're looking pretty good here. We've got a starter to go in and a couple more bolts in the bell housing, and we'll be rocking and rolling, making noise. Okay, in goes the starter. It's imperative on a flathead. You have your little bracket that goes to the oil pan on the far end of the starter to support it. Perfect. Installed.
So we got a brand new old stock fuel pump rod for this car, so we'll put that in now. It's imperative because that's, even when people put electric pumps on flatheads, you need something to block this area in the block because the oil, there'll be no oil pressure. So, brand new rod going in. Okay, we're going to install the fuel pump now that the push rod is in place. I've got my gasket here. Slide it over there, lined up. Perfect.
Carburetor in place. Yeah, without a hood or radiator or anything, it's
Makes life easy, don't it?
too easy.
Jenny!
Fan Jenny combo.
Okay, we've ensured that the rotor is in fact in place.
Oh yeah.
We preset this ignition on the on our distributor machine, so it's good to go. All right. This will go on, like I said, temporary, just until we get our final intake manifold situated. There, that's on. Because this is a brand new motor, we're going to pre-lube it with this oil pump that we have, which is an old piston ring container that's been converted many, many moons ago with an oil pump and a pressure gauge and a line. So we're going to pre-lube all the bearings and just prime the system.
Yeah, get a little oil flowing through the...
Away we go.
Okay.
All right, well, I think we're almost ready to start it. We've primed the oil. It's full of oil. The water's in it. Rad's on. Next thing, we want to monitor the vitals. So we've got this antique vital monitoring gauge, which is an oil pressure gauge that we have hooked up, and a vacuum gauge, as well as it has a compression gauge on it, because a lot of old cars, you're supposed to check the compression when the engine is running. It's a lot of the settings were done when it was running, the olden days. So we'll just rig this up right here where we can see it easy, and plumb in our little vacuum line to that port there. And yeah. And away we're monitoring. Seems to make a pretty decent engine stand, this car. A running stand.
Yeah, good little running stand.
So it's just full of water now to run it in. We are full of oil, like I said. We're going to now add some zinc additive to the oil for the break-in procedure. And then we'll put the battery in and spin it up and get our oil pressure reading on our gauge. And then we put the fire to it.
Yeah, hopefully she just kicks off.
It should. Like, the timing on a flathead Ford like this is set on the bench. So we shouldn't have an issue there. You have to actually take the distributor onto a machine and set the timing before you go. So it should be
Right where it's got to be.
foolproof. So let's finish the last few details and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, just pouring in some zinc additive here for flat tappets. High on gauge.
Okay, Jim's in the car here. We're going to spin it over with the starter with the plugs out and watch our oil pressure come up, hopefully. Yeah, go ahead there, Jim. Perfect.
Okay. Ready?
Yep. Vacuum gauge isn't reading very good, but
the hose isn't very tight on the pin.
okay, so our vacuum gauge is a lot of whack, but we came right up on our oil pressure, which is great. And that's the first sounds this engine's made.
Yeah, it doesn't make any awful noise.
No clicking from our lifters, so they're set correctly and seems to sound pretty healthy. So, like I said, we'll get the car positioned in such a way that we can get the exhaust out of the building and run it in.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've wheeled the car into its area where we can exhaust the exhaust. And I've since hooked up a different vacuum gauge that I trust more. This old snap-on one's never let us down, just so we got an idea for tuning. As well as we have this old snap-on
Beautiful
tack,
dwell machine.
because we're gonna do our break-in at 2,000 RPM for 20 minutes. Get lots of oil and things broke in here, lots of oil flinging and stuff, so that'll tell us our speeds. This will tell us our temp, water temp, vacuum, oil pressure, constant monitoring. So I'm excited. Let's see if she breaks in.
Yeah.
I'll just get this door a little bit. Good. We got the idle up. Just give her a go. Well, we've run it in for 20 minutes at 2,000 RPM. I think it's broke in.
Yeah, TAM at least. And nothing else broke, so that's...
Nothing broke, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have yet to put on the dual carb manifold and rebuild the carburetors for it. But that'll be the next thing. So now that we know it runs and it doesn't leak, we can finish up. We got to whip up a throttle linkage, fuel lines, all the incidental stuff. It's not just a 2-second bolt-on thing.
Oh yeah, get it all nice.
But while it's still hot, let's see if it'll. Let's see how it starts in idles here.
Yeah.
Ready?
You bet.
Hit her. Nice.
Wow. People must be talking about a different engine when they say a flathead won't start warm.
That's right, and it didn't overheat that entire time. It holds temperature really good. So, anyways, I'm pretty happy with the engine. The owner, he's happy with the engine. The car is really cool. So we'll just keep plugging away, and hopefully you'll be out driving it this summer. Well, now that the newer 1946 Flathead has been shoehorned into that 32 Ford,
Yeah.
with some warm-up goodies and some more yet to come, we thought it would be fun to peruse the original V8 instruction book that would have come with the car in 1932.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. At the beginning here, we have this little Ford service. This world-renowned sign, when displayed by authorized Ford dealers, assures you clean, courteous, and efficient service on your Ford vehicle.
Wow.
It is your assurance of work carried out by experienced Ford mechanics who are using approved service equipment and genuine Ford parts.
Ooh, boy.
And this is a new machine. Requires more careful attention during the first few days it is being driven than after the parts have been thoroughly worked in. To obtain best results, a new car should not be driven faster than 35 miles an hour for the first 500 miles.
Holy, you should have bought a T for the first 100 miles.
Well, maybe they're trying to break him in. Guy getting out of a Model T into a
Oh,
3240, you'd have to
yeah.
ease into
Yeah.
it, you know?
You gotta break the person in, yeah.
Kind of fun to hear it run, huh?
Oh, it's a long time coming and really nice to see no leaks, no
Yeah.
noises.
Didn't
just
overheat, didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Just did what it had to
was
do.
supposed to do.
So that's the venerable Flathead V8.
Yeah.
Long live the V8s.
Yeah, and a big thanks to everybody hitting the notification bell and liking, subscribing, telling their friends.
Yeah, sharing it.
Sharing it, yeah.
Big thanks to the patrons too.
Oh, for sure. They're
We put up videos there pretty regularly. We've been working on a few to put up. So if you're interested, you can pop over to Patreon. It really helps us out. And if not, just keep watching and
thumbs up and
thanks for coming along.
Yeah.